All right, well, welcome everyone to our Sunday night team huddle. My name is Missy Hides, and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne. You know that, and I am your national vice president. So whether you are watching live or the recording, we're just so glad that you are on and just able to participate. One of the things I love about the huddle is that it's just a place for us to get together and a place to come together. And I think one of the fun things at GTC was when people were like, I feel like I've met you, but they hadn't actually met in person. They had just kind of met here together virtually. And I love that. I love that we can have this community and this group of people pulling together and kind of seeing each other on camera once a week, even though, we live all over the country. So anyways, I just want to start us off. So this is our first call for June. It's Sunday, June 2nd, 2019. And I just wanted to share a little bit of how we finished out May because that just happened, right? A couple nights ago. And we had a really great May. My biggest goal for May, coming off of April, because we promoted to nation, we promoted 2 regions, like there was a lot of growth over those previous 60 days. And I have told you guys this before, that most often a difficult thing to do is to win after you've won, okay? And so I counted May as a win because we hit the number that I wanted to hit. We sponsored 100 people into the team, which I thought was excellent, considering there wasn't any like big, special like they had the month before. And also, hold on, let me make sure I got everybody muted. And then also with it being GTC month, it's just naturally a month that we don't have as much activity, right? I think if I said, raise your hands if you feel like you didn't get in front of as many people as normal, or, it just happens when it's a GTC month. And so even despite all of that, we had a really, really awesome month. And so I just want to give a couple shout outs here. I want to first congratulate this cutie pie because she is in qualification for regional vice president. So this is Megan Rican up in Mankato, Minnesota. She has an amazing team. They are just some of the most awesome people, and they are working. And so we are going to be cheering Megan on this month because this is the month that I believe that she can absolutely complete this promotion. And so it'll be another VP on the team. It'll be another Ben's Bash. And it really, again, is just more proof. It's more proof that this is possible. So super pumped for Megan and her team. And then we have 2 other ladies that I want to give a shout out to, and let me get their images pulled up here. Give me 1 second. Sometimes with technology, I feel savvy or not so savvy sometimes. Okay. Oh, I guess it's not gonna let me do both at a time. Okay, so the first one I'm gonna pull up is, can you all see both of those, or do you see Alicia and Fallon? That's what I'm wanting you to see. Okay, so Alicia down here in Whitfield, Alicia Whitfield here in Kentucky. Hold on, I got a text. I think I need to read. Oh, no, I don't. She is halfway to region. So her and her team did over halfway to region. And so I fully expect with her leading from the front and doing all the things that she does so well, that her team is absolutely going to get into qualification for region this month. So Megan's going to finish. Alicia's going into qual. And then we have one more. We have this lovely lady, my sister. She had her biggest month ever in Arbonne last month, and she did over halfway to region. So, woo, woo. So I fully expect that her team is going to continue to grow and promote, and that she also will be in qualification for region by the end of June. So super, super exciting. And why I wanted to just highlight those ladies is because it's just proof. You guys, it's just proof of what is possible. And so when you see these stories, when we recognize people, I just want you to know that it is not in any way for you to compare or to think, oh, maybe I'm not doing as much or whatever it is. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to inspire you. The purpose is to drive confidence for you that what they're doing is what we're teaching you to do. And if it's working for them, it can work for you as well. Okay. And that's really like, I love telling people like, that's good news. That is good news because it is not a mystery on how to become a regional vice president. It's not this thing of like, oh, are we ever going to get there? Lori Huffman took this thing by the reins and kind of broke through this barrier for us as a team and said, we can do this. And then she did it, and then Fallon did it, and then Amy Gill did it, and Megan's going to do it, and Alicia and Tara are going to do it. And right behind them, I know are so many more other people. And so it's just proof of what, excuse me, is possible. So tonight, what I want to do is I want to announce a couple things because we are kicking off June. I kind of want to paint a vision and a picture for you all of what the focus is really going to be over these next 30, 60, 90 days, and even what we're going to look for on this back half of the year. Because isn't it crazy that we're in month 6 of 12 months of a year already? Like, that's so nuts to me. Oh man, we hit 30. Look at us. Look at us. All right. Lori, can you screenshot the participants? And then I'm going to do a drawing a little bit later. Way to go, team. Look at you guys, like to be incentivized with a little bit of free product. Isn't that fun? Okay, so I want to paint the vision of what we're going to do. So one of the things, there were a lot of you that commented when I made the post about getting your goals written down yesterday, getting off 0, which, by the way, we got off 0 and we're doing so awesome on day 2, which is a ton of fun. But I saw over and over again, which actually was really encouraging to me, was so many of you said, I need to find more business partners, right? I need to find some new business partners. You can raise your hand or not. But if you're thinking, or maybe we should do this, like, I need to find some more business partners, just like raise your hand and say like me, because I'm in the same place. And why I'm in the same place is because I've promoted a lot of people out of my central business, my central district, and my central area, and I'm ready to fill it back up again. I'm ready to go out and find new people that I can share this opportunity with. And so sponsoring is absolutely going to be our focus, particularly over the next 60 to 90 days, okay? Because it is vital. Sponsoring indicates next month's growth. Because as you guys probably saw with May and GTC sales and people buying more products, you can elevate or increase sales, QV, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're growing your business. What indicates growing your business is when you are adding people to your business, because this is a network marketing business. This is a business of a network, not just what the network's consuming, but what's being added to the network. And what we add to the network is people, right? Because that grows the network. A good gauge on your business is you want to be having 1 sign up per 1,000 QV in your business always. Like that's the bar. That's not like a goal to stretch for, that's the bar. So when we have a sales goal of 10,000, which is area qualification, you absolutely at a minimum want to have 10 signups. Those can be preferred clients or consultants. It's any combination. A business is in growth mode when you have 2 or 3 signups per 1,000. Okay, so a team is in what I would consider growth mode. Like if you're a 1-for-1, like a 1 sign up per 1,000 QV, you're kind of in a maintenance mode. If you have less than 1 sign up per 1,000, so say you have 10,000 in QV and you only have 3 signups, you're actually in your growth is decreasing or declining. And I'm not saying this for judgment. I'm not saying this so anybody feels bad about anything. I'm saying this because as a leader, as your MVP, I need to tell you all like the business plan, what this looks like. Okay. So if you have less than 1 sign up per 1,000, you're really not growing. If you have 1 sign up per 1,000, you're really in kind of like a maintenance mode. You're in growth mode if you have 2 or more, so 2 to 3 or more signups per 1,000. So what that means is if you have 10,000 in QV, then you're in growth mode when you have 20 or more signups in your business. And you don't have to personally sponsor them. They can just be sponsored and connected somewhere to your organization. Okay. So what we are doing as leaders, as your VP team, is we want to create some fun, some excitement, and we find that that is best accomplished through a challenge, right? Because we all, I believe, perform a little bit better when we have carrots dangled in front of us, challenges put before us, things like that. Okay, so we are launching, it launches today, yesterday, and it's gonna run for 60 days. The reason we're doing this for 60 days is because maybe you haven't been in enough activity, and maybe it's gonna take you, a week to kind of get your calendar booked back up again and get messages sent out and really start to do the do. And so we wanna give you enough time that you can feel like you can participate in this challenge. But we don't want to make the challenge so lengthy that it loses energy or that it loses steam, or you're like, oh, this challenge is going to run for 6 months. I got a couple months before I actually need to get started on this. So it's going to be a 60-day challenge, and the focus is going to be on sponsoring, because sponsoring is the lifeblood of the business. Sponsoring is what will absolutely grow your business. The seeds and the planting, the investing, the sponsoring that you do in June and July is going to set you up to have a really incredible, excuse me, September, October, November, when sales like by default pick up, because it's more of shopping season. People are back in routine of life. There's the holiday products, things like that. So the strategy we're going to use is we want to capitalize on that. And the way to capitalize on that is to expand and grow your team, your network, your market in the summer. And I will tell you guys that not all Arbonne consultants work their business in the summer like they do in the other parts of the year. They'll kind of lax, they'll kind of take time off, they'll get distracted with vacations and camps and different things like that. And that's fine if you do that. But I want to tell you that if you are willing to be diligent, if you're willing to prioritize your business in this season, meaning summer, if you're willing to be faithful and consistent to do the next right thing and to do it daily, that it will yield a return. It will yield a great return on investment for you. Okay, so the Summer Sizzling Challenge, what this is, and I'm going to post this on the Facebook team page after the call so you can have it for your own reference and be referencing it back and forth, but it's fairly simple. There's going to be 3 tiers, 3 kind of levels of challenge that you can take for yourself, and then they'll have corresponding prizes. So the first level to complete the challenge is over the next 60 days, you will personally sponsor 15 new either consultants or preferred clients into your business, okay? The preferred clients by the end of the month have to have at least a 150 order under their ID number. And consultants by the end of the month, so if their start order, is $100, but then they sell product or they purchase more products, just by the end of the month has to be 250, okay? I'm not making it 500 because I want you guys to feel like this is doable and you're excited about it. So it just has to be 250, okay? 15 of those by the end of July, and you're gonna get a prize. And the first prize that we have. Sorry, I gotta mute everybody. Somebody became unmuted. The first prize is going to be a really cool visor. Think of it almost like a golf visor. And I have images of this. That's going to be the first gift. So it's going to have an Arbonne logo on it, and it's going to be really cool. The second level of challenge is to sponsor 20 direct. Okay, and here's the thing I want to tell you too. It doesn't matter what month you sponsor these in. If you come out of the gate strong and you've got some parties on your books and you're like, oh my gosh, I got all 15 of mine in June, that's awesome. If you're like, I'm a little slow out of the gate and I don't really have a lot of stuff on my calendar, and you only sponsor 2, or 3 in June, but then you go sponsor the other 12 in July, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is just a 60 day block of time. So first level is 15, second is 20. When you sponsor 20, you're going to get the visor, and you're going to get a tank top or a t-shirt if you prefer a t-shirt. If you're a guy and you're like, oh, I don't really want a tank top. And it's going to say something like, it's fizz o'clock somewhere, like, 6 o'clock somewhere or 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's with a fizz. So I thought that was really fun. So you're going to get the visor and the, the top. And then the top level of challenge is you're going to sponsor 30 people, and you're going to sponsor 30 people direct. So you can do 15, you can do 20, 10, however you want to do that. If you hear that number and you're like, I haven't ever sponsored 30 people total in my business, then this is an awesome challenge for you to just be willing to push through some barriers. Sponsoring, when someone struggles to sponsor, or someone isn't seeing consistent sponsoring in their business. So maybe you're like, I can hit 2,500 in sales a month, or I can hit 4,000 in sales a month, but your sponsoring is like 0 or 2 or 3. Sponsoring is tied to belief. When anytime a consultant is struggling with sponsoring, it is tied to belief. When anytime a consultant is excelling in sponsoring and they're in that growth mode, it's tied to their belief. So you either carry the belief that this is the most amazing thing that people should hear about, and everybody should be involved with Arbonne and their products on some level, your sponsoring will reflect that. If you're not convinced of that, or you struggle with that belief, or you struggle with the consistency of sharing that message, it's going to be reflective in your sponsoring. Sponsoring is such an indicator for me of who is consistently working their business and who is not. Sales don't really tell the story like sponsoring does. Okay, so if you when you get to 30, you're going to get the visor, you're going to get a t-shirt, and then you're going to get some really cool Arbonne flip-flops, which I love. And if you're a dude and you're like, I don't know if flip-flops are for me, we'll work something out. If I have a guy that sponsors personally 30 people to his business by the end of the next 60 days, you're going to get something amazing. So don't worry about that. So anyways, they have to have, PCs have to have that 150 total order by the end of the month, and consultants have to have the total 250 order, okay? The reason that we are putting this challenge in front of you is because sponsoring is going to drive growth. And the growth that we are looking for to be created amongst this entire nation is 20 new area managers before the end of this year. And I have names for about 12 of them. There are about 12 of you in the team already that I absolutely know, believe, and in some ways, it's not pressure, but I'm kind of counting on you to be an area manager. I'm counting on you to step up. I'm counting on you to go do the things that you've said that you want to do, okay? And then maybe those other, and there's actually probably more than that, but maybe those extra 6 or 8 that I don't have a name for yet. It's either one, because you haven't maybe presented that to me yet and said, this is a goal I have, or maybe they haven't yet been sponsored into the team. But here's the thing. We've got over 30 people on this call. There is a total of 10 or less than us that are area managers already, or VPs. So what that tells me is that we already have the 20 areas. It's you all. You just need to go decide that you're going to do it. And this morning at church, I heard one of our pastors say something, and I was like, that is so awesome, because we hear in Arbonne all the time about you just decide, right? You just decide, you just decide. And I remember early on in my business, one time I was listening to a conference call on our home phone, because that's what we had back then, and it was on speaker, and somebody said, made a comment about you just decide. And when you just decide, that's when the magic happens. And I literally like kind of yelled at the phone. I was on mute, so they didn't hear me, but I literally yelled on the phone like, I've decided. Because I was like, they keep telling me you just have to decide. You just have to decide. And I was like, I decided. But I actually, in fact, had not decided. And what you have to do is you have to make a quality decision. That was the term I heard this morning, and I loved it. And I wrote it down. You have to make a quality decision. And a quality decision says, I'm making this decision, and not only am I making this decision, but I am committed to what is required in order to keep this decision. That is a quality decision. And so all that this requires to make this challenge your reality is a quality decision. All that it takes to become an area manager is a quality decision. So you decide, and then you back it up with the activity required that is necessary to get to area manager. But every single person on this call that's not yet an area manager, you could be in qualification for area manager by the end of this month, and you could finish next month. So in these next 60 days, we could see 20 new area managers. I absolutely believe with all of my heart that by the end of this year, that we have the capacity to see 20 new area managers. That's the new thing we're doing that I talked about last week. That's the level of belief that we are raising ourselves to. Because often the only thing that is keeping people from growing to that next level is the belief that is being spoken to them, being carried by their leaders, and then they carry themselves, right? So as your leaders, we are no longer going to restrict your potential, and we'll no longer have a leadership lid. And so we're blowing this thing out of the water, and we are going to promote 20 area managers this year, by the end of this year, okay? 20 area managers in 6 months. Does that seem nuts? Yes, but I believe all things are possible. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to share with you guys, and I'm really excited about these challenges because I think it's going to create the focus and the intentionality that we're wanting. Okay, and then the second thing that this is going to lead into, let me find my next image, is the area manager and leadership, area manager and VP retreat. And I don't know why it has this weird blob there. I've got to work on that. But it is going to be in Destin, Florida, November 8th, 9th, and 10th. So this is for people who are currently area managers and VPs, and anyone who promotes to area manager or promotes up to VP by October 1st. And I'm going to put the details on the Facebook team page with all of this, because if you have promoted to area manager since December of 2018, and then you promote anytime from December 2018 till October 1st, you will go to this retreat, your conference, and all of that will be paid for. The only thing you'll have to pay for is your transportation. And if you're like, ooh, I live a plane ride away from Destin, Florida, then we'll talk about that. And maybe there's some things that we can do to even kind of incentivize to help offset some of that cost, because we want you guys there. It's going to be held at a place called, I think it's called the Henderson. It's really beautiful. It's going to be tons of fun. And this is going to be a retreat, not just with our nation, but with most all of the teams that generate out of Lisa Voorhees' success line. So last week I showed you guys that picture of all of those VPs. So it's them and their area managers. So by putting the work in over these next 60 days, and here's the thing, you guys are going to do things as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that are going to look different from your friends and family. A lot of your friends and family are going to prioritize summertime fun, going to the lake, having campouts, staying up late, sleeping in, maybe drinking too much, you know, whatever those things are. And there's nothing wrong with those things. But if you want different, then you're going to end up doing different things. And you might face a little bit of ridicule. You might face a little bit of teasing from people, and they're like, what? You're gonna go do an Arbonne event tonight? Girl, it's so nice out. You need to like come hang out with us. And what you need to remember is you're gonna be making some short-term sacrifices for long-term lifestyle. Long-term lifestyle. Be willing to trade in one summer of doing things that most other people won't do so that you can have a life where you don't have to go to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And yet you can still generate a killer paycheck. Every short-term sacrifice that I have made that has created the lifestyle that my family and I are now living has been absolutely worth it. Has been absolutely worth it. Okay? So, and we'll kind of talk about that, because as you are doing those next right things, you're going to have to just find yourself saying, like I would say often, literally out of my mouth, successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. And then just choosing to do the next right thing, and just choosing to do the next right thing. And I would have to kind of tell myself, I would remind myself of what to believe. Okay. So this area manager retreat is going to be so awesome. So if you're new, you'll earn it. If you bonus, I think, let me look what I put in my notes. If you bonus 2 times in your area, if you're already an area manager and you bonus 2 times between June and October 1st, you're going to get $100 off of your registration. If you're already an area manager and you don't bonus, then you're obviously going to be welcome to come. And it's a really affordable retreat. So it's going to be super fun. I know a couple of the gals were able to join us this past fall. We went to the Smoky Mountains, but this year they chose a beach destination, which is super fun, especially in November. And it's just a place to learn. It's a place to build relationship. It's a place to share ideas. It's just a fun weekend getaway. This is over Veterans Day weekend, I believe. And they do that because I think most people have Monday off from work. So it helps with the travel of that. So super excited. The last thing I don't have an image for, but to keep in mind is the RVP to be, which is, if you think about this, this is the strategy, is we're focusing on sponsoring right now because we're wanting to build your teams. We're wanting you to build your teams. We're wanting you to get to area and help other people get to area so you can get to the area manager retreat. But then even, in my opinion, a little bit more exciting is you get to go to home office next January for the RVP to be. And Lori Huffman and Edie Meeks got to go and be a part of that. And they made a cool live training for us, or video that's on the Facebook team page. And, you know, they just couldn't say enough things about it. And I will tell you, it is not a trip that I can earn. And I wish I could. I wish I could do something like in my own central area to earn it again. Because they didn't have it when I was an area manager, but it's, you get taken out to home office, you get put up in a hotel, you get to tour home office and see where all the products are put together, and then you get incredible training from top leaders, and that'll come next January. And so these things are just to compound on top of each other, to build off of one another, but they start with sponsoring, okay? And so as I wrap up tonight, how do we get to those sponsoring numbers? How do we get to 15 signups? How do we get to 20 signups? How do you get to 30 signups? Is you get back to basics. You get back to doing the things that we all know to do. And what we all know to do is have conversations with a lot of people about Arbonne. The baseline is 40 conversations. In order to get those 40 conversations, you reach out to a lot of people. You ask a lot of people to take a look at Arbonne, whether in a conversation with you, whether in a video, whether come into a live event, come into a detox dinner, hosting a party. You know, you get back to the basics. The basics are sharing the full story of Arbonne, the products and the business. We have a toolbox of options on how to do that. You can go book events, go book some parties, book a facial party, book some mask and margarita nights. You know, it's summertime. People aren't restricted by weather and their schedules are a little bit freer. Summertime is an awesome time to have like last minute parties versus like, hey, would you have a party for me in 3 weeks? It's more like, hey girl, what are you and your friends doing on Tuesday night? Like literally in 2 nights, Tuesday night. And they'll be like, I don't know, we got kids going to softball games and, you know, whatever. And then we'll be home by 8 o'clock. Well, great. 8 o'clock, it's still daylight out. Why don't you invite all your mom friends over that you guys were just at the ball field with? I'll bring some drinks. I'm going to pamper you guys with some products. We're going to have a great time, right? So you can do some really kind of spontaneous group gatherings. So groups are a great way because groups get you into other people's markets. If you're feeling like, I don't know where to find more new people to sponsor, ask people to host some events for you and just this one time help introduce you to some new people. You can meet people for coffee. You can send people videos. You can kind of cold message people. Do it in a really nice and respectable way. Don't be weird about it. You can circle back to PCs that have expired. You can share just with everyone. When I started Arbonne, the rule was anyone within 3 feet. Anyone within 3 feet. And when I started Arbonne, it was like, don't go through the drive-through at the bank. Go into the bank. Go stand in line at the post office. Go talk to the cash register, you know, the people that are the checkout people at the stores. Don't use the self-service machines. Just be always looking for ways to engage with people. You never know where your next awesome business partner is going to come from. So you have 2 ears because you want to listen more than you talk, and you want to listen for how Arbonne can meet a need, a discontent, or a desire that they have. Okay, so we get back to basics. We sample out products. Lori Huffman built a good chunk of her business working full time, and she sampled out products to people, meaning she put a full skincare set or samples of a nutrition set in bags, and she dropped them off to people on the way to work and picked them up on the way home, or vice versa, whatever, and let people try products for 3 to 4 days. These are all encompassed in our toolbox, okay? We're gonna do 2 virtual events this month. Plug people into those. These are, the basics is we have at least 40 conversations a month. The tool or tools that you choose to use are up to you and your discretion. But this is a very, very simple business. And in order to get the sponsoring that we're looking for, we have to start having enough conversations to yield that. Okay, so we are going to get back to the basics. We're going to get really good and really intentional, and we're going to be holding each other accountable and encouraging each other on our conversations and how many conversations we're having. And like I said in a live last Friday, we're going to lead people to a decision. We're not just going to have 30 and 40 conversations and then be like, well, I've shared Arbonne actually with 40 people and I only have 2 people that signed up. All that tells me is that you didn't lead them to a decision. Okay. So just so excited for all that's to come. Last thing I wanted to share is, if you're wondering about the tote that Arbonne is giving with every $300 order, a perk of a VP is that an MVP is that we get all these prizes early. So it's an awesome bag. It's a super quality bag. It's really thick, canvasy type bag. It would be great for like keeping stuff in your car, samples, catalogs, products, things like that. So super fun and a super great just kind of thank you gift that Arbonne has for us whenever you place a $300 order. And the bag will come with every $300 order, not just your first one. And then for those of you, sorry, this is the last thing, for those of you that got 2 I Want It Alls at GTC, on your next order, look for in the shopping cart or in the special offers, the fizzy tin that they'll send to you. So it's that cool green tin that has, I think, all 4 flavors, not strawberry, but blackberry, green apple, citrus, and pomegranate fizz in the tin. So mascara is releasing, I just saw this, give me 1 second. I think it's, hold on. I saw this on the MVP forum. Give me 1 second. Yep, It's now available for purchase. Yes. It says it's finally here. Speaks Volume Mascara now available for purchase. So it is out and available. Yes, which is so awesome. So, okay, go ahead and unmute if anybody has any questions. Lori, Fallon, or Amy, or Tara, Edie, Megan, Mel, Alicia, leader ladies, if you all have any comments, anything that you want to share before we hop off, just unmute and let me know. Look at us, we got 33 people. Woo, woo. I have lots of new products, so I'll pick a good one. I won't be cheap. I won't be like, oh, here's the lip balm. I'll give you guys something good. So like, don't you just hate that when you're like, oh, I'm gonna give away, and then they're like, here's a $5 product. I will give you guys something good. So Lori took a screenshot of all the people. Does anybody have anything, questions or comments before we hop off?
I just have one question. Are we doing a detox dinner in the Louisville area this month, or I know that hasn't been discussed. I was just kind of curious.
Yes, I am hoping that we can do it. I'm sending an email to check calendar, but I'm hoping that we can do it either the 3rd or 4th Monday, like we've been doing Mondays this month. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I'd love to do that. We didn't do it last month because with GTC.
Yeah.
We couldn't fit it in, but yes, I would love to do that. If you live in an area that you couldn't come to the Louisville one, you guys can do them in your home. I know that the group up in Ohio has been doing them in their home, and it's super effective. Work together with your sideline teams, whether you guys like are per se connected to each other. I just think the more the merrier. So wherever you are, just gather together, everybody bring a dish to share. Your friends, clients, prospects, whoever are going to hear from other people. And I just think it's so fun for them to kind of hear and see all the things going on. So Lori, did you have something you want to say?
Well, not really. I mean, I was just, as I was going through the things, I just wanted to just remind everyone that the gifts are just like on top of the things that we already do. Like they're just the cherry on the top. And I know Edie would agree with me that the area manager, the VP retreat, I mean, it was awesome, but I mean, it was like way awesome. They treat you like royalty. I mean, we had fancy dinners and fancy lunches, and I'm talking like it was, if you picture the ultimate wedding reception, that is like what they did. They had like pianos, grand pianos, and sculptures, and just they go all out. So you guys,
to be one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, our budget is top notch.
Yeah, it is top notch, and it's just when you go in, and I knew Arbonne would do things well. Like I've saw enough over the course of the 2 years, but, and not to make you feel any worse, Missy, but the home office and just the staff, and you get to see their offices and you look into the lab where they're doing testing of the stuff, and you get to see the assembly lines and meet the people that work on the assembly. I mean, it's just, it was so over the top that you guys do not want to miss it. I'm telling you, because like I'm a little jelly that I don't get to go again. So do all these things. Don't set it down over the summer. Summer's great, but you want to look back in August and go, yeah, I pushed my business forward, and you're going to rock out the fall. So I cannot stress it enough. You definitely want to just carve out the time. Like barbecues will be there next summer.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. And the thing, to Lori's point, because when we were talking about the gifts for the sponsoring, I was like they're cute and they're great. But like Lori said, they're just something fun to say, we see you, we recognize you. But you guys, getting to area manager puts a comma in your paycheck. Getting to area manager, you're going to start seeing $1,500, $2,000, $4,000 paychecks.
Yeah, and you get a willable business.
Yeah.
And you have a willable business for your family. Like, you know, she said flip-flops are great, but they are just the little cherry on the top to kind of just put the focus for everyone, because it is so worth it. I mean, I saw this summer after summer, and if you just stick to it, sit out on your deck, you know, spend the evenings focusing with those texts, and just, you know, set yourself apart, and find a space to just hustle through the summer, because it will be working, we will be working more than I would even say, you know, a lot of Arbonne people, like you said, they kind of coast a little bit and then they're trying to hustle, but you will benefit so much in those final 3 months of this year. And yeah, we see it. We see all you guys working and you're doing the right stuff. So just don't let off the gas through the summer. That's all I'm going to recommend, because all these things, the little trips, and so, I mean, think about it. You get to go to California, you get to go to Florida, I mean, just the perks are endless. So don't stop.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Let your hindsight be your foresight.
Yes.
Let our experience make it easier for you. So trust us when we tell you that when you commit to committing to your business and making it a priority and not letting everything else urgent or fun or exciting that might be thrown your way in the next 60 days or 90 days get in front of this, you will so be bearing the fruit of it this fall. And just to leave you guys with the power of a network is we have 33 of us on, right? This isn't everybody in our team. This is a portion of our team. If each one of us sponsors 15 people, we will add 495 people to our team in the next 60 days. We have the capacity to change 500 people's lives with the 33 of us. And here's the thing, we are giving people a key to change the rest of their lives. My life has forever been changed because of this business. Lori's life, Fallon's life, Tara's life, Amy's life. Our lives have been forever changed for the better because someone was willing to say, you need to take a look at this. And one of the things that I love that Rita Davenport, and this is the last thing I'm going to share, and not because I've been saying that for 15 minutes, but it's true. One of the things that Rita Davenport shared, that when she told her older sister, that she should do this business, after a few months, her older sister said, if this is good enough for me, this is good enough for you. And said that to Rita. And Rita said, you're right. And so here's the confidence I want to leave you guys with. You don't necessarily have to run around and tell the people that you're sharing Arbonne with this, but you need to hold the belief that if this is good enough for you, this is good enough for them. And if it was good enough for you to say yes to, it is absolutely good enough for them to say yes to as well. So let's go out and be world changers. Let's be difference makers. I would love to see us blow this out of the water. I would be so happy to give away truckloads of flip-flops and visors and t-shirts to you all, like truckloads. And for the dudes, I'll get you guys something maybe that's a little more masculine if you don't love the flip-flops. So I get it. All right, love you guys so much. Thanks for hopping on. Have a great evening. And I'll post the info hopefully tonight and get that out so you guys can see it. So, all right, you guys have a